everything I planned for you, everything I've given you, you're not even capable of appreciating it.
I don't know what the fuck you're talking about.
Such a waste. Goodbye, Heller.
You can't kill me. You can't kill me, motherfucker.
One of the biggest driving forces for any economy is competition. Now, while competition does bring rivalries between companies and stuff, it brings new jobs, it brings innovation, it sets a standard for prices for us consumers, whether it be in gaming, it be in music, it be in anything. There's a certain standard that's set, so instead of one company selling a product for $100, it's more of a standard at a $60 for every company, and it's better for us. Competition is pretty big in the gaming industry, and I don't mean playing games against each other. I mean more like systems, like PlayStation versus Xbox, or like Call of Duty versus Battlefield, like that. Like competition between different companies, publishers, Activision versus EA. A good example of this, in my opinion, would be Prototype versus Infamous. Now, while it's not actual competition, it's more of what the fans saw, because the first Infamous game and Prototype, they came out with a difference about 2 weeks. So they're released pretty much in about the same window, like the time frame. And they're both similar games. They're both open world, they're both superhero related, and fans started to compare both of them together. Fans started to compare the gameplay, the setting, the powers, how you traversing the environment, because the games were pretty similar. It was basically a superhero story in both of them, and them releasing in between 2 weeks of each other, it made it even more of a game of competition. All this competition that was started by fans, more or less, helped improve the sequels that came out. When we look at Infamous 2, it improved on the way we moved around in the environment. If we compare Prototype and Infamous, the scaling, when you scale buildings, both games, it was way faster in Prototype and way easier. While Infamous, it was fun to move around, it wasn't as quick. And they improved that in Infamous 2 with the lightning tether, or scaling up buildings with the lightning pole that was on the side. And that made it a bit better. And that change, if we look at it, did occur, or somewhat, due to Prototype. Now when we look at Prototype 2, it actually improved on the overall gameplay aspect and the story. So it actually rivals Infamous. While the sales were not as high, it might be to the marketing or something, but the overall package, it was very well done because of the competition. Because there was competition out in the market, so they had to improve. Now even if we go further, now we look at Infamous Second Son, it is the same thing. It improved on its predecessor. Now while we did think that in Infamous 2 and 1, because Cole had electricity powers, or lightning powers, we would expect him to be fast, but he wasn't. But they actually improved that in the next iteration, Infamous Second Son, where Delsin has the powers are fast paced, you move around the whole environment a lot faster, similar to Prototype. And it's kind of sad that there is no more Prototype and that studio has been closed down, because I think even though Infamous Second Son is a great game, it could have happened better if there was actually competition. Is actually something that it was compared to, so the devs would have to push a bit further, innovate a bit more. But the overall thing I've seen on the gaming side of the internet is we have these console wars, these game wars, PC versus console. It's all these useless arguments. Instead of using all the information we gain from all these news, we should use them to help the devs improve the games they make, help improve the games we like, instead of being used by the publishers in marketing and advertising. We're actually being used. We're actually using all this anger, and they're getting advertisement out of us. So why not be used, but in a good way that actually helps improve the stuff instead for us, while it maybe in that same franchise, you do want innovation. You want it to change. You can't play the same game forever. It just doesn't work like that. You'll eventually get bored. And competition is the reason that can occur. It is the only way it can occur. So instead of fighting against each other, we should actually use what we have, all this information, and actually use it positively to help developers, help ourselves to get better games overall and just have a better experience.
Cheers, brother. Half as long.
Twice as bright.